was this in school, right? So why I come across this? I just had to bust this one down. And first of all, I want to give an honor and gratitude to this creator right here. Make sure you go check this video out. So boom, we starting with this. What Benjamin Franklin wrote. The founding fathers of the United States Corporation, right? Allegedly. Everything I'm about to say is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to intend, persuade, or inform. I'm simply just stating my perspective. Allegedly. And I'm going to include the link so you can go read the full document or at least go read this full passage for yourself. So right here he's saying, why should Pennsylvania become founded by the English, become a colony of England? Then goes on to say, be so numerous as to derp. Ooh, because they can acquire our complexion. So boom, we get right here. I'm not even going to read this, but let's get into this word right here. When I searched this up, this is what came up on Oxford Dictionary. Mind you, I searched up this. But we're going to get into that. Let's finish reading this right. They say all of Africa, Asia, America, exclusive of Holy soul. And in your... Wait a minute. You mean these same people? Wait. Goes on to name, who the key players are. But wait a minute. Just like up there, it says, okay. On the face of the earth. But see, this is where it gets a little, ain't this where Lon said he was from? And allegedly that's right there. But yet Lon and look alike. So now I'm getting upset because I'm like, okay, this ain't making pay attention to the dates because we really finna get deeper into it. So now we back here. Where I said I went and looked them two words up and it led me to. Well, in 1591, there was a translation of this little document right here. But I'm gonna let you see what it says. Hold horses. Let's read up here. This is where that word originated from. Now, I'm not gonna say it because later on down, if you scroll, if you happen to go look at this yourself, it tells you that since the 1900s, it became a derogatory term. So because of TikTok purposes, I'm not gonna say it. It says that this group right here seemed to induce that the old Spaniards passed the sea and possessed those places. Hold on, because I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna let you see that. I'm gonna let you see the original. Wait a minute. Further into a time where Benjamin Franklin was, it starts to become their countenances, and it tells you they had curly hair, was out of Spain, 1612. Coming on down here, it tells you specifically this term, then in Britain, meant this term. But originally, this child, like I said, now usually considered offensive, adopted by the United States, emancipation, American Civil War, 1960s. Then you start getting into the Civil Rights era when they, start changing stuff around again. Anyways, remember when I told you I was going to get you to the original source before 1591? Let's get it. So, y'all, I had to grab my handy dandy notebook, but don't worry. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it too. Boom. 1591. It translates and says, the countesses of the people seem to induce that the old Spaniards passed the sea and possessed those places. When I typed that in, this is what it said. The direct takeaway from this passage is that the 16th century historians is using the physical appearance, specifically dark or, to denote what? Okay. An ancient tribe in where? Okay. To argue that they were descended from where? Okay. Who sailed across the sea to settle in Britain? The source? Okay. 1586. There we go. Camden was echoing an observation made centuries earlier by who? Okay, hold on. The same people that y'all said was in BC, but really, as I done stated time and time before, BC was fairly recent, like a couple hundred years. Anyway. He noted the... Here we go, that word again. Okay. And the curly hair, okay, concluding that the ancient Iberians, the same, Iberians like Iberian girl, boom, boom, boom. Michael Jackson was trying to tell us because Michael Jackson was the same one that did, remember. We just had a little dance break, but they crossed over and occupied Wales. The same Wales like where the Queen, was from. But anyway, yeah. This Spanish origin theory was accepted for centuries based purely on classical texts. Modern genetics provides a more nuanced picture. Modern DNA studies show how a strong genetic connection between the populations of Atlantic Wales, the people we just talked about, and the Iberian girl. This connection does not represent a sudden migration during the Iron Age, as Tacitus or Camden implied. Instead, it dates back to the Neolithic and Bronze Age. Wait a minute, because I was researching the ages not too long ago, and let me just put up what I found. So right here, I'm just showing a Greek poet going through his 5 ages and essentially equating the Iron Age to the period that he is in right now, which is approximately 750 BC. Not only this, but it also uncovers how we can tie the Old Testament to the Old World and essentially Greco-Roman or European history to what is considered ancient history before these historical periods were established and many stories rewritten. But not millions of years ago like they tell you, allegedly. Here we got the Iron Age, which claims it happened in 1200 BC to 50 BC. Now, my theory is around 400 BC, they changed the whole little calendar, and like I said, he added 1,000 years, putting us in 1400, which would make the Romans. Like Nikki Reloaded, Roman, that would make that related to the people that occupied that space at that time, which again, they tell you was this, wait. Oh, okay. Real quick, we finna go back to the whole Bronze Age thing. It said old world right here at the bottom. If it would focus. The old world by 3000 BC. So now y'all irritating me because somebody lying. Somebody is lying. Really bad. But anyway, we're gonna come on forward back here. It says the Iron Age was the final part after the Copper Age and the Bronze Age. And it, starting with prehistory and progressing to proto-history. Before what? But we get down here. However, this no shit is being checked. Anyway. Now back to this. So you mean to tell me this happened way before Bookie? This happened way. So now it asks me a question. It says, is that Latin text from Tacitus? Or I might be saying that wrong, but anyway, the modern genetic studies tracking of Welsh and Iberian girl ancestry, or more quotes from Camden's Britannica. So baby, I'm nosy, so I asked for it all. I asked for it all. Yes, I did. And when I asked for it all, baby, what I got was amazing. Go to the next part so you can finish watching. Y'all remember when I started off here, right? And then I said, why would the founding father in 1700s be saying this about something that happened in 1500s? According to them, right? Which led us to this part right here. If you haven't already, go check out part 1. This is part 2. Now, everything that I'm about to say is alleged for entertainment and research purposes only. I'm not trying to inform, persuade, or attack anybody. Everything is alleged, baby. But let's get into it. Now, we're jumping back into it with the handy dandy notebook. Okay, but I'm going to post it right here for you. Anyways, we at the part where he's saying, allegedly, this is what they saw before the 1500s. They were saying that the swarthy complexions of these people and they curly hair and the fact that Spain is the opposite shore to them are evidence that former Iberian girl, crossed over and occupied them parts. So why is this Roman philosopher or Roman writer publishing this and saying this took place in allegedly the Bronze and Copper or Iron Age, but Benjamin Franklin saying the same thing in the 1700s? And as a matter of fact, Benjamin Franklin is saying alert, 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 allegedly. And you want to know how I know this? Because this next part says William Camden's Britannia in 1586. Like I said, the Agricola thing was in way before. This was in Latin. This was before that. Then this thing right here, Camden is saying this in 1586. So now I'm like, okay, what's going on? Somebody please. But anyways, we get to the part where they're like, okay, Camden says he meticulously tracks the origin of British tribes by cross-referencing Nicky Romain, in his chapters on Wales and the British Ocean. He elaborates further on these people and the Spaniard connection and says that the sea all along as far as Spain went under the name of the British Sea. We are assured by Pomponius Mela, who, I hope I didn't mess that up anyway, who was himself a Spaniard. Mind you, it says this. The modern descendants of South Wales, Camden notes that these people occupied the historic counties of these places, mapping to cities, again, the Agricola, like I said, descriptions directly onto the 16th century Welsh populations. He surveyed. Okay, so, this looking in 333, this looking a little too matching up to me. It's given the Old Testament and the New Testament, like I said, the Old World and the New World was rewriting the same story. Like they say, history rewrites itself. Now, look at what they say about Ireland. But we're going to keep going. Modern genetics shows, hold on, the Iberian hunter-gatherers and early farmers share genetic markers established in Western Britain and Wales. And then it comes down here and say, 2400 BC, early Bronze Age, according to them, the Bell Beaker culture influx significantly impacting English. Welsh terrain isolates the older gene. Now, why is it saying just the last Paleolithic period? It says 70 to 80% of Welsh ancestral DNA traces back to hunter-gatherers and early Neolithic farmers who expanded northward from the Iberian Peninsula and Basque region following the last glacial maximum. The Ice Age, like the same one that I told y'all about on my YouTube channel, and how the Ice Age movies actually tell you how all of this happened, and how they put it in the kids' talk. Anyways, because I be getting a rambling, and then I be connecting the dots, Now right here is just telling you that the mountains acted as a buffer between everything that was going on. The mountains. What else have we heard about? Oh my god, it's making sense now. Now right here it says, this allowed the older Neolithic Atlantic Iberian genetic signatures to persist far more strongly in the Welsh population. Now, taking it back right here, what did I say? Originated in South America. And they throw in South Asia because the Native Americans, allegedly, y'all know how they tie in, but I ain't gonna get into that in this video. And then it evolved into African. Matching up to this same story that many of our elders told us about what actually happened in the overthrow of America. And that allegedly, this was BS. It was told in a false translation. The same way they thought India was America. Allegedly. So now it's confirmed, okay, we originate in the Iberian people, these swarthy, tawny people in South America. Which, again, if you look on the map, you can see that clearly South America is shaped like Anyway. Now, this little last part about where it clearly says, I'm not going to yell no more, y'all, my bad. Sorry for the headphone users. This Bronze Age shift, a major study published in Nature, revealed a massive wave of migration into southern Britain between 1400 BC and 870 BC. So which is it? Did the Bronze Age take place, according to y'all, 3,000 years ago? 3,000 years before Christ. So that means approximately 5,000 years ago. Or did it just take place approximately 2,000 years ago? Make up your minds what you want to say now. Allegedly. I'm just asking questions. But it then says this migration altered the genetic landscape of England and Wales, introducing more continental European ancestry, but leaving deep prehistoric lineages, like the same one intact. I did not say that. That's what it says on here, baby. So I went to go look up the Bell Beeper thing, and it led me to this little area right here, which again, modern day Britain, kind of, sort of, you know, going up into here, England, whatever. But I was still stuck on this, and this is where I had to just end it. Because I was just like, bro, this is not making sense. I might revisit this. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But anyway, the Salur, these people right here that I keep bringing about, these swarthy people. When I go to type it in, this is what I see, boo. So what are we hiding? Why we gotta hide this? Why y'all putting this in the textbooks? Why aren't y'all telling the whole story? How is it that I can find this quickly like that, but in the textbooks we learning something else? And in the modern accepted societal history, we're learning something else. But when somebody gets on here and tries to challenge that by bringing up the stuff that is literally put it on there for you to see. And look up yourself. Let me go back. He writing it theyself. That's all I gotta say. So I said, baby, gratitude for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And like I said, this all for entertainment purposes only. I was just doing some research and happened to come across this stuff, and I felt like sharing it. Gratitude, I say, boo. Don't forget, none of this is to spread hatred. It is simply to just educate ourselves and see things from a different lens. We're not doing this to attack each other. We simply just doing this to understand ourselves.